Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Adobe Live. My name is Emily Poulin, and with me today is amazing photographer Raymond Alva, all the way from Southern California. Show him the other hand, Raymond. We have a broken arm in
It's
the
a little claw. It's my Lego hand. That's
we
what my
have
nephew says.
a broken hand in the chat, but no worries. The stream is going to go on. So, Raymond, you are going to be working on some gritty portraiture today, showing us some new features in Photoshop. Anything else
Yes.
that you want to tell us about what you're working on today?
Yeah, so I'm really excited. Grit is just a huge part of my workflow. And we'll see that a little bit with my work coming up. But yeah, texture, grit, I love it. And we're going to be working with some new features in Photoshop today. Looking at clarity sliders, dehaze sliders, grain sliders. Kind of insane that those are sliders now and they're not just baked into the image. So super pumped to work with that. And then we're also going to be working in Firefly Boards before that to see what it looks like to build out a mood board of a specific style for a shoot so that we can have that on set and really nail it. So,
Amazing. Well, for people
yeah.
who don't know you, I know you have your website up. Do you want to show us some of your favorite photos and just a little bit more of your work so we can get a good foundation here?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so a little bit about me and my work. I am a portrait and documentary photographer based in Southern California, and I work primarily within the music industry and also like kind of like youth culture, kind of like youth subcultures. And so a lot of that has to do with like rap culture, skate culture, fashion a little bit. So yeah, so that's kind of a little bit about my work. Some of my, I mean, this is my website, kind of income slates. That's not a word.
A new one.
Yeah, kind of showcases just like all my favorite work a little bit, an overview. So, this is my nephew, actually, the one who said that my hand looks like a Lego hand.
Aw.
Yeah, been documenting him ever since he was a toddler. Uh, yeah, so this is a really fun shoot that I got to do last year. It was with rapper Big X the Plug for Billboard magazine. This was a super fun project. My first time working with Billboard. And yeah, this was a great time. So
I love it. Well, you are getting a lot of love in the chat. We have Jacob Harris, Andy Palou, and or yeah, Andrew Hochradel in the chat. So hey everyone, we're super glad that
sick.
you're here.
Was
Uh,
good.
Jacob Phillips in the chat. You guys appreciate you being here. If you have any questions for Raymond or just want to see more, feel free to add that in, and we will just love for you to be a part of the conversation.
So
These are
yeah,
cool.
yeah, these are fun. Add some little fine art, like kind of textured vibes. Uh, so yeah, this actually is one of the images that we're going to be working on today. So
Would you
pretty
look at
fun.
that?
Yeah, wow, a little foreshadowing. So yeah, this is my grandma.
Hey,
So
Grandma.
hey, grandma, what's up? Uh, but yeah, it's fun. I love getting to do what I do. I get to meet musicians like this artist, Charlie Crockett, a country artist. This was shot originally for NPR.
Oh, wow.
For last year, Charlie was nominated for his first Grammy, and
Dang.
the NPR does a series every year on showcasing different artists who are nominated for the first time in the Grammys. So I got to do a session with him, and that was a really good time.
That's so cool.
Yeah, some press photos for artist Leon Thomas, who actually just won his first Grammy as well. I do a lot of press imagery and artwork for him. Um, so yeah,
So cool. Hey, there's the moms.
the
Moms in the
mom.
chat.
Shout out Denise. Yeah. Really fun about this shoot is I actually showcased editing some of these photos on Adobe Live a couple months ago. So yeah, I think it was like 6 months ago now,
Yeah,
actually.
maybe we can
But
get a link in the chat if one of the mods is feeling extra historical today to go find that link. But that
extra
was a great stream.
historical. Yeah. Yeah, for
Whoa.
sure.
I haven't even seen some of these. These are
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, some fun stuff. We got Alicia Keys and Swizz Beats shot some BTS for a Jordan campaign a couple years ago. That was a really fun one.
That's awesome.
So yeah, and I think as we said in the beginning, grit is a huge part of my work, and but I don't necessarily there's like a specific kind of grit that I'm chasing after in my work. And I kind of like to describe it as like a refined grit. It's
Okay.
like a little polished. It's, still has texture, but it's a little bit more clean and polished. And I think this image is actually a really good example of that. Where it's, here this even the subject matter has like a polished grit feeling where he's got dirt all over him, but he's also like trying to act like really cool and like has this persona of like, no, like I don't know, he's like saying to all the girls, like, no, look at me, like I'm not like that dirty, like I'm still like cool and like clean, and like I don't know. Like that's like kind of how I see this. And
Totally.
like this is like I want that balance of like dirt and polishedness in my work. So
I love it. Well, chat is saying, what a portfolio, fire emojis, many fire emojis in the chat, actually. So that's always good
dang,
feedback.
that's what's
And
up.
then someone is asking, what is your camera setup? Which I'm sure is kind of an open-ended question.
Yeah. So my camera, for the longest time, I was using a Sony A7 III, which is I bought that thing in 2019, and that was pretty much my main shooter. So most of these photos are shot with that, but I recently upgraded to the Fujifilm GFX
Ooh.
100S2, which is medium format, and it's like 4 times the megapixels as the last camera that I had. So, and actually, the images that we are going to be working on today, including this one, was shot on the GFX system. So, yeah,
Four
really
times as wild. That's a lot more.
it's insane. Yeah, I have had to really work on my digital asset management and my storage. And yeah, it's a good time. It is a good time. So,
Well, I love it. So you said we're going to be starting off today in Firefly Boards. Is that correct? To kind of get the mood board locked in?
yes.
All right,
Yes.
let's do
Yeah.
it.
Cool. Let's hop in. Over here I have in Firefly Boards. If you have not worked in that environment at all yet, I very highly recommend. Please go. It is a playground. There's so much stuff that you could do. Um, like we're just going to be scratching the surface with what you can do in this thing, and I'm going to use it primarily. A lot of people use it as a kind of like I said, a playground for people. You can use, you can generate images inside this website. You can generate videos. You can turn designs into 3D objects, which is insane. Like seeing other people do that, like work in a more design space, is like mind blowing. You can organize inspo, and that's kind of how we're going to be using that today. So right here, I have just a blank Firefly board, and I'm going to go into add content. And in my cloud storage, in my project section, I have everything that I'm going to be working on today already packed into one project. So Projects was introduced by Adobe a couple months ago, or maybe a year now, maybe 6 months. And it is a great way to sort of sync all your projects that you're working on between all the different softwares that Adobe offers. So in here, I could have JPEGs, I could have PNGs, I could have Photoshop documents, I could have Illustrator documents, I could have my boards, I could have pretty much anything that I'm going to be working on within Adobe products, it's in here. So right here, I have all of my inspo inspiration all packaged away. I find all of this inspiration by looking at photographers that I look up to, looking at their websites, looking at photo books. I have a big photo book collection at my studio, and I spend a lot of time just searching through that, taking photos of things that I really enjoy. Um, I go to galleries sometimes and find inspiration that way. And whenever I see something that kind of like draws my attention, I always save it, take a photo of it, take a screenshot of it, and put it into just a mass inspiration folder in my Google Drive. And on there, I have there's probably thousands of images in there, just through all the years. And there's so many different looks and styles. And I like to save things based on a couple different criteria. So there's either I like the feeling of the image, I like the subject matter, I like the posing that the subject was doing, I like the lighting, I like the color, I like the composition. I like that there's multiple people in a shot. There's one person in a shot. There's a lot of different reasons why I would save something. Um, And so I just throw that all in one folder. From there, kind of my workflow is whenever I'm getting ready for a shoot, I like to look through that folder and draw specific images into another folder for that specific shoot that we're doing. So today, we are going to be building out a mood board for a shoot for a pop-up portrait studio that I actually have already shot. So we have the final images already as well, which we're going to show in a little bit. But I wanted to show you guys kind of what it looks like to have your initial mood board, your inspiration, build it out into a mood board, take that onto set, and then take those final photos and then edit those in Photoshop. And then I'm going to show how it looks like to like make sure that you stuck to what you planned pretty much. So this is my collection of images that I pulled for this shoot. This was a portrait studio that I set up at a local art gallery exhibit, an opening exhibit called 60 Miles East. And 60 Miles East is it's an exhibit in Riverside, California, that showcases like past memorabilia or past photos and imagery from the 90s punk and hardcore and ska scene in Riverside. So very like hardcore, very gritty, which like lines up with what I shoot. And I pitched to a local magazine to set up a portrait studio at the gallery. And when I was thinking about this, because it was a pitch, like I had full reign in creativity. And I knew that on the opening reception, we were going to get some characters. You know, we were going to get some people showing up, old punk heads from the 90s showing up. You know, I wanted people with mohawks. I wanted people with crazy outfits. I wanted all the character that I could get. And I knew that this place was the place to do that. So because of that, I pulled together these images of what I wanted the end product photos to look like. So I wanted them to be black and white, obviously, from this mood board. I wanted them black and white. I wanted them harsh light. I wanted them gritty. I wanted them dark background. But then, as you can see, some of these images don't necessarily have those characteristics. And that's okay. That is okay, because we are going to be separating and making different mood boards based on criteria of what we want to hit. So I'm going to select all of these right now. I'm going to add these in here. And now as they are loading, we have everything. So this is everything. It's all, the great thing about Firefly Boards is it automatically can organize all of your imagery or data into a nice clean grid. So this is awesome. I used to use a lot of other programs, which I won't name, that for mood boards, and they did not do this. And I have spent countless hours of my life, probably days of my life, reorganizing and like cleaning up mood boards. And this like eliminates all of that. So shout out Adobe for saving days off my life and giving it back to me. So
creators just wanted a clean grid. That's all we really
that's
knew.
all
We didn't know we wanted that, but it is what we wanted.
Exactly.
I do want to give a quick shout out. Jules Jacob is joining us in the chat saying, love how you're pre-visualizing, captured the intention for sure. And then more fire emojis in the chat. So everyone's doing really well, but glad that you guys are hanging out with us.
Heck yeah. What's up, Jacob? Or Jules Jacob. Shout out if you guys didn't get a chance to see, Jules just did a stream before this, and he is an incredible underwater photographer. Insane. Like the stuff that he was even showing today on the stream was so sick. And so, yeah, definitely go check out his work and the stream because it's still on YouTube. So
facts. You already know all of it, Raymond. You're like,
oh yeah, you have
swipe up, subscribe, all of it.
Please, we need it. Yeah, so here I'm just cleaning up the mood board a little bit more. Some of the inspo imagery, you know, it's screenshots, and so I am just cleaning up the crop a little bit, just making sure. I'm gonna crop this one just a little bit. The perfectionist in me. Yeah, this one I'm also gonna turn around. There we go. And then you might say, oh, wow, that's nice. But now it's like there's random spaces everywhere. the cool thing about Firefly boards is you can just go here and you have arrange. So within the arrange section, you could either do by rows, columns, or mosaic. I personally only use mosaic because it's like magic. And magic's sick. So I'm gonna click mosaic and it reorganizes it all already with the turned uh, picture. I don't even know where it just went. Oh no, it returned it. No, why did it do that? Oh no. Oh well. Um,
Mosaic +1.
yeah, mosaic +1. So this is really cool, but like I said, we are going to separate and make multiple different mood boards. So within here, I'm going to make a couple mood boards. I'm going to make one for overall mood. I'm going to make one for lighting reference, and I'm going to make one for posing reference.
Ooh.
So how I'm going to do this, it's going to be a simple drag and drop. So I love the pose in this. I love the pose in this. Pose this one. This is definitely an overall mood. Like this image is literally like
That's the mood.
that's the mood.
Done.
This is the mood board
Clear.
right here. Yeah, clear. We're done. Everyone turn off the stream. Thank you for having me. Yeah, so that's fun. Yeah, I love this as a posing one. But then some of these honestly land as posing and mood. And
Okay.
so like this one, like I'd say this one is pretty, yeah. I like this is like a real hero shot for sure. So I'm even going to just hold option and then click and drag and just, oh, gotta keep holding option. I'm going to drag this now and I'm going to duplicate the image so that I can have it in multiple places, multiple boards.
When you were planning for this shoot, were you doing single portraits? I guess you did a little bit of both, right? Single and then a little bit of grouping. Did you have a hard opinion either way, or you're really open to whatever?
Yeah, I mean, the fun thing about this project was it was all I didn't know who I was going to shoot. I didn't know what I was going to shoot. I didn't know who was going to be there at the gallery. And so I was really reliant on, who showed up. And
Nice.
so when I was creating the mood board, I definitely included a variety. So some of these are like detail shots of like this hand right here. Some of them are including multiple people. Some of them are group shots because I wanted to make sure that I was ready for anything, essentially. So if there were groups, groups of friends or families or something, I wanted to
Sure.
make sure that I had posing references for them. And then I also had references for the single people as well. So,
And for a bird, just in case a bird came through. You were
and for
ready.
bird, exactly. Yes.
Always got to have the bird plan.
Yeah, you never know. I'm literally shooting with a bird tomorrow. So honestly,
That's wild.
yeah, yeah.
And it's
Shout out
that
birds.
photo, so
Shout out birds.
shout out birds everywhere. Birds are
Yeah,
real.
yeah, for real. Yeah, Siri, play Birds by Turnstile. Okay, so
Um,
yeah, let's keep going. I'm gonna do a little section for lighting references as well. So
okay.
this is gonna be my lighting
We
one.
do have a question for you. They're saying, what if you want to emphasize some images by making them bigger than others? Can you still organize it regardless of the size? I say
Yes,
yes. Yeah.
yes, you totally can. You are a little restricted in the sense of when you do the mosaic, you can't like pick if certain images are bigger than others. It just like automatically does it. But even after you do the mosaic, you can still adjust all the images. So you're able to change any of these. Like even like this one, I can make this bigger. And then like when I do the mosaic, it is just going to make them all the same. But yeah, you totally can change it after the fact. So this is definitely going to be lighting reference. And then I'll move this one in here. This one's going to be more lighting reference. And then, yeah. Yeah, I like that. I think I'm going to add this one into posing. And so from here, I'm going to recollect my overall mood one, recollect my lighting one, and then I'm going to recollect my posing.
Does
And
not want to keep that one image that way.
I know it does
Must
not,
turn
and
it.
that's okay. We're
We
gonna
can work
work
with
with it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
it's fine.
can just turn our head a little bit.
I will be doing this the rest of the stream. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's totally fine. It's totally cool. Cool. So another great thing within boards is you have all these beautiful images that we've taken inspiration from other artists, and now we can kind of fit them into what exactly we're shooting. So like even this image right here, this is a great image, but doesn't necessarily fit the what's it called? The feeling of our shoot. So I'm going to select this image, and I am actually going to push this generation settings button. What this is going to do is this is going to give you an opportunity to add sub prompts into your work. I really like these because they have already set sub prompts that you can make very small changes, like converting something to black and white. So you could also, this is using generative AI, so you are able to select the model that you want. Some of these models give you different variations depending on it. And that comes from a lot of trial and error and figuring out exactly which model you like. I like Nano Banana, so I'm just going to use that. And then you could, if you wanted to change something in this specific image, you could describe it. But I personally just want to make it black and white. That's all. I'm going to just click generate. And then as that's going, I'm going to actually just start building out over here. So here I have my text, and on here, I'm just going to do lighting references. I'm going to make that a little smaller. So yeah, and then I'm actually going to see if we align it.
Oh,
Kind of interesting,
okay,
keeping
kind of
keeping that.
nice.
Yeah, kind of nice. And then just to make it a little further is, say we wanted to, well, actually, for Firefly Boards, this is a really great tool for if you are collaborating with a team. If we go up here and click share, we can share it with another Adobe user, and they can come in here and look at everything, change stuff, add to it. This is really great. Say, like for my instance, as a photographer, if I was working with a creative director or a designer on a layout or something, I'd be able to share this with them, and they'd be able to take the images. But if say maybe you wanted to just send a quick, not necessarily screenshot, because we don't want to send a low version of this, but we can do right here, collect items, and this makes an artboard for us. So, but this guy, we didn't make black. Now from here, artboard, we could just click download, and we have the option to either quick export as a JPEG or PDF or PNG. So this is really nice. Say we don't, they might not have access to go on the full board, or maybe you just want to share a little part of the mood board to someone. This is a great way of how to do that. Download it to your computer, airdrop it real quick. So I think that's a really great feature. So now as we go back to here, let's go to generate, and in here, place on canvas, and boom, black and white version. I just realized that we had landscape selected.
I do that all the time. Yep.
So yeah, awesome. Now I'm just going to delete this one.
A new
But
crop.
the beautiful thing is we could just go back here and arrange, and now we're good. We're back to normal. So
Amazing.
yeah, so love that. You can also, if we just collect item, I can just name this artboard posing references. Yeah, that's how you spell it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
spell. We're
Yeah,
good.
we went to college. We know how to spell. Um yeah. So like that, I'm really vibing with this. I feel like this is even going to be a good tool for when I'm on set and I'm, maybe talking with a client, if this was a client shoot, I would be able to give this specific, mood board, these three items, maybe not this one, but these two for sure, to my assistant maybe. and maybe I'm working with a lighting director, maybe I'm doing my own lighting. I can give this to them and be like, hey, here's my lighting references. Let's build something for this. And when I did this before, I knew that, what are the key characteristics in this sort of board? Harsh light, direct light, lots of shadow play, lots of fall off. And by fall off, I mean, the subject here is lit, but then the background starts to fall off into black, into shadow. And so these are characteristics that I really saw in these images and made me, understand like, okay, there's a lot of grit in these images. Why is that? And I kind of like deconstructed like what is actually happening. Why are these gritty? How can I make my images gritty now too? And a lot of people think that, when you're building a gritty portrait, a lot of people think it's just in the editing, but it is probably more important in the pre-production, in the lighting, And so understanding that and understanding how to have that in the lighting, how to have that in the actual production, and then how to have that in the post-production, which we're going to jump into next. Blending all those three together is how you really get something that is truly gritty and tactile and like, it's on a screen, but you like can almost feel it, and that's kind of the goal here. So, yeah. So I'm gonna combine this guy real quick, make that into our nice fancy artboard. And this one's just our overall mood board. Yeah, and this one's actually kind of fun because like I'll just show like, you have it. Oh yeah, you could also change the spacing between everything, which is pretty fun. So yeah, I'm going to change the spacing just a little bit right there. And then I'm just going to make this a little bit more personalized to my brand and style. So I'm going to add my logo on here. Let it load real quick. So I'm going to add that right there. And then I'm going to add a little text. And I'm going to say the name of this gallery is 60 miles east. And then mood board. And yeah, that is perfectly centered on the page. Totally.
The extended canvas version.
Yeah, for real.
This is awesome. I feel like another great feature that could be helpful as you're sharing this too, like say you were sharing this internally with your assistant, the comment section on the right where you could just drag and drop some comments on there if you didn't want to put it on the actual like printable artboard, hey, I like this lighting. Hey, this is the reference that I want for this. And like getting more specific is really collaborative. And I think a big win for Firefly Boards.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's a great point. Which is nice too, because we have this little comment section, which we could type. And I see it more as like, if the assistant or the client has like questions, maybe this is the place for them to ask that. And then even in here, if we don't, if we have notes, like even in here, I'm just going to say, light modifiers. Yeah.
We're spelling today. We're doing it right.
Yeah, we're doing it right. Oh, that's not it.
No S.
No S. I'm going to make this a little smaller first off. So I know looking at this, I'm going to want to have a beauty dish. I'm going to have a large reflector. And then, yeah. And then this is also great for even making my gear list for what do I need to bring to the shoot. So maybe I'll just change this to overall gear list. And then I could do, maybe like 6 C-stands. I can add my gray seamless backdrop and then 6 sandbags. And then maybe my cart as well. And so a really stripped down version, but this is good to know for, I can just have that right there. Another really interesting part is you can use Adobe Stock just directly within Firefly Boards. This is great for, if you need to find more inspiration. So I could just go black and white, maybe, let's just see what gritty portrait. Okay, that's a
Not much
horse.
going on
That's
there. That's a
okay.
horse
Yeah, that's a horse for
and
sure.
a cat.
Black and white.
Some
Oh,
nice
some
textures
textures. Okay.
and some salt. Nice.
And some salt. Yeah. But another interesting thing is we could, oh no, that's not it. Um,
What are you trying to
let's
do?
see. I was going to add like searching like images.
Ah,
Similar inspiration. Here it is. So now it searches with that image in place and searching similar images. So even looking at like this image is pretty nice.
yeah, that's totally inspo.
Yeah, that definitely fits the vibe. It's a little cleaner, but it
Yeah, I was
definitely
gonna say
fits
no
with
grit.
like, yeah, no grit. But that is okay because we get the idea.
That was a lighting reference, so done. Check.
Yeah, check. Yeah, lighting, we're good. So yeah, this is a very simple way of how to sort of, build out a mood board, how to get your thoughts kind of just on a paper. I like to print my mood boards as well. So, it's great that you can, have this, share it with a team, but also just having a tactile print is also really nice on set. I like to tape my mood boards to my cart as I'm tethering and as I'm shooting,
Mm.
so that I'm able to keep going back and keep tweaking. And yeah, so with this, what we have in mind, we have our gear list set, we have our lighting references, our overall mood, and our posing references. Let's take a look at the images, shall we?
Shall we? On to Photoshop we go.
On to Photoshop. So I already have our images. Oh, a little sneak
I
peek.
wasn't ready.
Wasn't ready. We're gonna get
He's
back to
so
that one
cute.
later.
All right, who are these
Yeah.
fine gentlemen?
So this is a actually some homies. They are a collective that runs a kind of like music publication in local Riverside area. And so this is them. I believe their name is WGM, I want to
Cool.
say. Hopefully that's right. But yeah, this is them. They pulled up to the spot, and I'm gonna show, as you could see, we have a couple characteristics. We have, I like to look at light in catch light. So the catch light is the little reflection in your eye. So I have two little lights right there, which means that I use small sources. Okay. And so this one is a little bigger. This one was the beauty dish, which we talked about before, with no diffusion on it, but it has a grid on it, which means that we get a little bit more of a fall off on the background. And as you could see right here on the left side, and on the bottom especially, like that light is really only hitting their faces, which is good. We want that dramatic light. I'll just circle through some of the other images real quick before we look at the other images. Here was another one of the viewers of the gallery, and she was so down. She understood the vision. She's like, I'm going to give you my punk face. And so, yeah, this was a really fun one.
That's
And
great.
like you could really see like even the back shadow, like
Yep.
it has, it's not super diffused and it's not super harsh either, but it still is giving those characteristics of like it's kind of blending the two. It's soft, it's harsh light, but like a little softer and a little still good for the skin. Which kind of goes back to that concept that we were talking about earlier with my own work of like having this like refined grit. It's like we're not going for like pure grit, but we're going for something a little bit more polished in the same way.
We're not throwing
um
sand in the camera, but
exactly,
maybe in
yeah.
post a little.
No sand in the sensor, we're not scrubbing sand in there.
Not this
But
time. Oh,
yeah,
who's this?
this is the homie. This
Our hero
is
of the day.
our hero of the day. I like to call him Punk Pup. That's his actual name is Party Time Pup. on Instagram. Check them out.
Follow for
Yeah,
follow.
follow for follow maybe. Yeah, so this is, a great reason, or great reason to always put birds or animals or dogs into your mood board. Because
Manifest
as we
it.
saw, where'd it go?
Where's the bird?
The bird. We have the
Bird.
bird. The bird.
Incredible.
So you never know who's going to show up to a portrait studio, but you always have to be ready. And the fun thing is, maybe what if I did have this thought in mind? What if before I was like, dang, I really hope I can get a dog. Like that would be awesome to shoot, like a little punk dog. Never in my dreams would I have thought.
You dreamed of a punk dog? Why haven't you dreamed of a punk dog?
I don't know why. I'm hopefully
Dream
going to
bigger.
dream about one too. Yeah, dream big. Marty Supreme, Christmas Day, dream big. Yeah, but the cool thing is within Firefly Boards, it also has Firefly already integrated with it, of course, and you can generate images here. So I'm going to try and generate an image that is somewhat like party time pup. So
let's do it.
So we already have our sub prompt black and white, and now let's do dog sitting on bench. I'm gonna do black,
scruffy dog.
Small, yeah, scruffy's good.
Need some scruff in there.
On wood bench.
And what's the outfit?
Oh, he's kind of got like a jean little situation.
Do we want to try and generate that too?
Yeah, we could try.
I put a football jersey on a dog the other day using Firefly, so
oh, sick.
I feel confident.
Shout out Super Bowl.
Shout out
sports. Shout out sports. Go sports. Wearing a jean shirt, collared.
Yeah, shirt.
Collared.
I don't know.
Shirt. Sitting. That's a lot of commas. I
feel confident.
Yeah, make. Oh.
Well, I was feeling confident.
Make the background gray, seamless backdrop, and make the lighting very directional and harsh light. The cool thing about this is, say this is good, but it probably could be better. And if we click this little enhance prompt button right here, it'll use AI to enhance our AI prompt for AI. So yeah. So as you can see, it just made it a little longer. And let's see, a small black scruffy dog wearing a neatly tailored jean collared shirt sits attentively on a wooden bench, its posture upright and inquisitive. I like that. That is good. The background's a smooth, seamless gray backdrop, creating an isolated spotlighted atmosphere. Lighting is harsh and directional, casting dramatic shadows that enhance the texture of the dog's fur and clothing while emphasizing the geometric structure of the scene. That sounds pretty rad. So yeah, show me.
Eagerly awaiting. That was a lot of. I'm curious with emphasizing the geometric structure of the scene.
Yeah, that is.
I don't know how to interpret that.
Yeah.
Show me a polygon. Just kidding.
Show me geometry. Did you ever play Geometry Dash? Did you ever play that? Oh, no. This is not necessarily what we're going for.
No. Interesting.
But the dog and the outfit, beautiful.
There is scruff there.
Yeah.
Things are happening.
Okay, so not bench.
I guess we didn't say in a studio.
Yeah.
Said dogs are outside. Put the dog back outside.
In a studio, make the image black and white.
I do want to give a time reminder. We have about 15 minutes left, and I know that we have some exciting features in Photoshop, so yeah, just want to give that flag.
Got you.
But I will wait for the dog, so don't worry.
Yeah, the dog is important for sure.
We can't move on.
Oh, here is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Totally.
That's pretty close.
Honestly, cute outfit. Love it.
Yeah, I kind of like it. So here, and then compare.
the vibes. If you had that on your mood board and then Party Pup walked in,
I would
you
understand.
manifested that.
Yeah,
Right.
this
I knew it was coming.
mix, with the lighting and everything, like that's
Yeah.
there. That's there. So cool.
Perfect.
Now let's hop back and let's just stick with Party Time Pup then.
Okay.
So I like this image. There's a couple different ways of how to convert an image to black and white in Photoshop. You could just get your saturation, bring your saturation down. Sometimes works, sometimes, we want a little bit more texture. You could add just the black and white in here. But I am going to actually convert this to a smart filter, and I'm going to open this in Camera Raw. So this is a raw photo, and I am able to open this guy in here. I'm going to change my profile to monochrome. And then from here, I'm just going to work a little bit this. I'll work a little bit. I'm going to bring that down. I'm just working with my curves a little bit, and I'm going to add more curves actually in Photoshop, but I like to give it a good base within Camera Raw as well. Bring my exposure up. I'm going to bring my shadows up. A little trick that I like to do sometimes with having a little bit more definition and detail in images is I bring the shadows up, but I bring the blacks down. If you do it too much, it kind of gives like this HDR kind of look. So we're not trying to do too much, but yeah, that's pretty good. That's before, after. We're just going to click OK. And then there it is. And then the cool thing is we could just go ahead and double click this, and then it opens Camera Raw back up. So we love non-destructive workflows. So here, we love Party Time Pup. I am going to, like I said, I'm going to add another tone curve real quick. This one is just going to be, I'm going to flatten the blacks a little bit, give it like a muted kind of like gray almost feeling. So before, after, yeah, just blends that a little bit, bring down the opacity. And then here's where it gets fun. So in the new Photoshop, you are now able to add clarity, dehaze, and grain sliders. Now this is huge. This is insane. I know if Andrew Hockrettel is still in the chat, I know he probably like died when this was announced because like he's the texture king. So, but yeah, with this, instead of having to either do clarity and dehaze in your Camera Raw filter or, just going in and adding noise or adding your own texture, this now allows you to add it just directly in there. I also like dehaze. If you don't know clarity, what that filter does, that essentially like kind of sharpens the image or the pixels within the image and like creates more contrast within individual pixels. So instead of adding like contrast within a whole image, this is adding clarity and contrast within individual pixels, which gives it like a little bit cleaner and more structured sort of definition. So, and then if you go down, it almost gives it like this soft what's it called, almost like dreamlike effect. And so for this, I'm going to add a little bit there. Dehaze, it is essentially, if we drag it left, it's almost like adding more haze to a room. And then say if you're shooting somewhere that has a lot of haze, you would get rid of that haze by using the dehaze. But I personally like the look that it does, even if there is no haze. So yeah, there's that. It just adds like a little bit more of that grit to it. And then say, the cool thing about, because this is a regular layer, maybe like on his jacket or on his shoulder, I didn't want as much. I can just select that, go ahead and push B for my tool, and then bring that guy down. Yeah, there we go. And then I'm going to select my black, and then I'm painting out the clarity and dehaze right now, just to give a little bit more emphasis on where I want the dehaze. So even like along the edge, maybe like, I don't want it to be too overly sharp. I want it to be tasteful, but this gives it like, it's only certain parts of now his hair that I really like. So that's really nice. After that, I like to add the green. I usually add the green for like my final step for everything. And so here we have the amount, and then I'm actually just going to zero these out real quick to show you guys what we're working with here. So the amount, this is essentially how it's almost like the opacity of the grain. So this is adding a full just like structure of green over it. And the amount is how much you actually see it. So as you can see, it's, you know, those pixels are either getting brighter and more visible, or, you know, very small. So that's the amount section. The size is literally, if you think about the green, it's little dots. And the size is obviously going to change the size of those dots. So if I bring it really up, it looks like there's a less amount of dots, but they're bigger. And you see more of like the actual spot of the green instead of like just this level of just like texture. So I like to go somewhere in the middle, maybe like right there, maybe even a little more green. And then roughness, this is my personal favorite adjustment within the green section. Is this changes, you know, right now the green is very uniform, but now this is going to sort of like displace the grain a little bit. So it makes it a little bit more like spotty a little bit. And it also softens the image a little bit. So this, you know, when people are adding green, they are really adding it for um, kind of the effect that you would get if you were shooting film. And this is the feature that really emphasizes that. So yeah, so it might be a little much.
I love that he has a mohawk of his own.
Oh
Like
yeah.
his hair came styled.
Yes. Yes. So here is yep. So before the grain and after the grain. And this is really cool because I'm going to show a little, just a little fun trick with, you know, working with boards is, you know, I have this image, as you could see, this is saved in my cloud already, this file. And I'm just going to save that file. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to go here. I'm going to turn all these guys off right now. I'm going to save this again. I'm going to go back into my boards, move my screen. I'm going to go add content, 6 miles, and then my photos. These are all of my photos, you know, that I have open. I'm going to go add. I'm going to add this in here. And then as you could see, this has a little Photoshop section or a little logo on it. So what that means is this is a Photoshop file document that is now living within the online website of Firefly Boards. And this is really, really interesting because I see this as a win for if you're working as a designer, maybe you're doing a poster or a branding project, like you can have all of your inspo and all of your notes from your client and have the final product all within one board. So that's really fun. So as you can see, this is the raw image that we have here. But now I'm going to activate all the different features that we just did. I'm going to save that. And then as it saves, and then it might take a little while to upload, but eventually it's going to, this is a pretty large file, like I said, 100 megabytes.
Already there.
But here we are. That little pop-up is going to come up sometimes, or you could just click on the actual file, click update, and now we have the updated file in here in all its grit and glory.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah. So, and it's really fun too, like even I'm going to show, I'm actually just going to copy that Command C. I'm going to hop over to this image there. Actually, I'm going to crop this image first. I really like having more of like a detailed kind of shot of what's happening here. So we'll go there. I'm going to bring this image in here all before. Oh, not that guy. Photos, not that one. This one. And it's already showing that crop that we have. And now let's just do a different version of a black and white now. We'll go here, we'll add that on there, and then I'm gonna add another curve.
I love the crop that you did. It just brings so much of a different story, I feel like, to the image. I know that's what crops do, but just worth saying.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I like to look at editing as almost like there's some people who look at editing and processing as like almost you're shooting the subject like a second time. And this is definitely like cropping plays a huge part in that, and definitely like specifically with this camera because it is such a large megapixel camera, I'm able to shoot a little wider and then crop in and still retain so much of that detail.
That's awesome. Yeah, it gives you more to work with.
Exactly.
That's cool.
So yeah, I'm gonna save that
gorgeous.
guy. And then
Wow, that was almost instant.
update. That was pretty quick.
That was insane. Shout out the internet.
I know, for real. And so now even I'm going to mosaic this,
Nice.
make this a little bigger, and then showing this as a comparison to, I'm gonna get a little smaller actually, to everything else. And that's pretty, that lines up. I feel like that lines up.
That checks out.
Even this guy, I think I'm going to crop it even a little bit more. Actually, I'm just going to add another one real quick. Just copy. Paste.
Nice.
Just going to make that. Oh, so as you can see, I have this guy. I'm going to G. Oh.
You're trying to replace the mask.
Yeah, there we go.
Because that was doggy specific.
Doggy specific. So, and then I'm going to bring up the exposure on this a little bit. And as you could see, when I adjust this, it kind of changes a little bit. And that's because temporarily when you are working with clarity and grain, when you're changing another layer, it'll disable them just to save kind of your computer and the processing power. So yeah, I love that. Hop back into here. Add this last one. Oh, not inspo. Align. Move this guy. Cool. So yeah, as you guys can see, here is the full mood board that we created. Here was the posing. We had the 3 people. We had individual people. Then we created our overall mood board, incorporating a little bit of more of that like black and white, that grit, that feel. Then we had lighting references. And then this was the final product.
Amazing. Yeah, you delivered entirely on what you set out to do. So thank you so much for walking us through the process. It was really cool to see the behind the scenes, what's new, and how you're utilizing new tools. I think Firefly Boards is something that's new on the horizon for a lot of people, and just seeing how different disciplines are using it in their workflow is just really cool to see. So appreciate you showing us that.
Yeah, it's super, it's insane just to know that this is like accessible like to everyone, like, and it's so easy. And like obviously like when you are generating images, like it's using a little bit of credits, but in order to just use the board, like that's totally included in the Adobe package. So it's really fun to mess around and play. So
I would even argue to say that using credits ahead of time to save yourself time on set is definitely worth it if that gives you the extra leg up with your client of, hey, here's the vision, hey, this is what we're doing. Why not prep a little more? Makes it a little easier.
100%. Yeah, this is a great, say there is a specific image that you can't find a reference image for, and you just have to get your point across to the client.
Yeah.
Generating something is the best way, and this isn't the final product, and the client knows that.
Right.
But because we've generated this, they're able to be like, oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, if we could shoot that, that'd be awesome. And then we go and then we shoot this, and it's even better and real and tactile, and it's a real party pup. It's a real punk pup. So yeah, love that.
So cool. Raymond, thank you so much for joining us. As always, you were such a wonderful guest to have on. Always amazed by your talent and just your process. So thank you so much for tuning in. Chat, you were wonderful. Thank you so much for being along for the ride and being part of it. Jacob Paris says, Raymond, this looks wild. I love it. All
Heck
positive
yeah.
things.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Emily. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, excited to always working with you guys. So
Cool. Well, if you're tuning in wherever you are, stay put. Making Decisions is up next with Jess Goldsmith, so don't miss out on her amazing show. And thank you so much for tuning in.
peace, guys.